Welcome to my B&B Today's Show channel. I hope today fantastic for everyone. Please hit the subscribe button and give this video thumbs up. Finn reveals Liam's inoperable mass to Steffy Kelly's daddy surprise. The Bold and the Beautiful recap indicates that John Finn Finnegan revealed Liam Spencer's inoperable mass to Steffy Forrester while Kelly Spencer got a surprise from her daddy. At the hospital on Friday's B&B episode, Liam refused to listen to Dr. Grace Buckingham and Bridget Forrester as they attempted to persuade him to remain there. Liam wasn't interested in waiting around on more scans and insisted on attending the dad-daughter dance. After Liam unhooked himself from all the medical equipment, he said he'd sign a waiver because he was indeed leaving. Bridget and Grace then went to Finn's office, where they said that, despite their protests, Liam checked himself out. Unfortunately, Grace and Bridget had even worse news since the latest scans revealed something inoperable and terminal. At the Cliff House, Steffy admitted to Kelly that it looked like Liam wouldn't be able to make it to the dad-daughter dance after all. Kelly was disappointed and perplexed by Steffy's admission because she was dressed and ready to go. Kelly, on the other hand, continued to look outside and appeared to be hoping that Liam would arrive. Liam eventually showed up wearing a hat to cover his head bandage and faced Kelly's questions about why he was late. After Liam offered a cover story about picking up a gift for Kelly, he handed over a sparkly tiara and left her delighted. Unfortunately, it was too late to attend the actual dad-daughter dance since it was already over. Despite Liam's disappointment, he eventually suggested holding their own dance in Steffy's living room. At one point, Liam saw Finn's missed calls and text about needing to speak with him about something important, but he ignored all that. Steffy turned on the disco ball as Liam got his groove on with Kelly, but there were definitely moments when Liam was unsteady on his feet. Liam blamed it on clumsiness, but he seemed woozy and a little out of it. Steffy beamed at Liam and Kelly as they shared a warm moment together, but her world came crashing down as Finn texted about the inoperable mass on Liam's brain. Steffy appeared devastated by Liam's prediction that he would always be there for Kelly and stated that he was not leaving the area. At the Forrester mansion, Rich Forrester and Taylor Hayes gushed over Kelly pics as they discussed Liam and Steffy being a great co-parenting team. Taylor reflected on Ridge's own dad-daughter dance days as they discussed the importance of making special memories. The Bold and the Beautiful say Liam's bleak condition will make some waves once it inevitably leaks. CDL will have other sizzling Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, updates and news to read up on, so make us your one-stop B&B source. Liam's escape, Finn's bomb, Kelly's wish granted. The Bold and the Beautiful is finally here. In today's episode, Liam Spencer leaves the hospital against medical advice. However, it leads to Kelly Spencer's wish coming true. Meanwhile, John Finn Finnegan tells Steffy Forrester Finnegan about Liam's inoperable brain tumor. Liam Spencer's insistence. At the hospital, Liam is getting restless. He wants to get out of there and take Kelly to the dance. Grace Buckingham explains they are waiting on new brain scans. Liam starts waving his arms around, claiming he has to pick up his daughter. The patient screams that they are unable to stop him. Grace and Bridget Forrester plead with him not to rip the wires attached to him. Read more, find out what happened on the last episode of B&B. Steffy Forrester Finnegan's hope. At home, Finn knows Steffy has been dealing with so much. She is also keeping a big secret about Liam's condition because she has been by his side. Finn thinks Kelly will understand if her dad can't make it to the father-daughter dance. Steffy is hoping for a miracle. Kelly enters and shows off in her pretty dress. Finn has to go check on a special patient and leaves. John Finnegan's bombshell. At the hospital, Grace and Bridget burst into Finn's office. The doctors tell Finn that Liam left against medical advice. Finn says Liam is lucky to be alive but shouldn't be taking risks like this. That is when Finn learns that Liam has an inoperable mass in his brain. It's fatal. Liam Spencer's escape. During the Bold and the Beautiful's Friday show, Kelly asks about her father. Liam might not be able to make it, Steffy warns her. Kelly gets upset and runs off. A while later, Kelly comes back and announces the dance is just about over. Suddenly, Liam enters wearing a beanie to hide the brain surgery. Kelly jumps into her daddy's arms. Liam says he couldn't forget about the dance. Kelly asks where he was. Liam doesn't answer and whips out a tiara just for her. Kelly says they missed the dance. Liam says they can have a dance of their own right here. Steffy snaps pictures as the living room transforms into a glittering arena with a disco ball. A bit later, Liam almost collapses. Steffy tries to step in but Liam wants to continue. Liam sees 2 missed calls from Finn but continues dancing with Kelly. There are a few more near collapses, but he continues on. Suddenly, Steffy gets a text from her husband. Finn tells her that Liam left the hospital and he has an inoperable mass. Steffy is brought to tears as Liam promises to always be there for Kelly. Read more. The bold and the beautiful spoilers. Liam's secret and renewed outlook create opportunities. At Eric Forrester's house, Ridge Forrester and Taylor Hayes make out. They both get texts from Kelly. It's a photo of Kelly in her dress. Ridge admits that he taught Kelly some hip moves. Ridge smiles as he begins to recall his first father-daughter dance. Steffy must tell Liam his dying, spills diagnosis herself. The bold and the beautiful reveal that Steffy Forrester will decide she must be the one to tell Liam Spencer that he's dying. Steffy will insist on spilling Liam's diagnosis herself after John Finnegan offers confirmation from the hospital. B&B fans know Liam just checked himself out against medical advice, but he was too late to make it to the dad-daughter dance. Of course, Superdad's solution was to hold an impromptu dance right there at the Cliff House, so Kelly Spencer was thrilled. Steffy, on the other hand, was heartbroken nearby when Finn texted about the inoperable mass that had been found in Liam's brain. Now Steffy knows Liam's condition is far worse than anyone expected, but she'll want to speak with Finn before she leaks anything to Liam. There's a good chance Liam will take Kelly out for pizza, ice cream, or some other fun thing to make up for missing the actual dad-daughter dance with all her friends. Kelly had a good time at their private party anyway, but Liam wants to make this night even more special. That'll give Steffy an opportunity to talk to Finn, who'll return home and elaborate on Liam's latest scans. Finn will confirm that Liam's condition is terminal, so Steffy will think it'll be better if she gives Liam updates. Steffy has a history with Liam and can give things a gentle touch, so she'll move forward with her plan soon enough. As Steffy admits that she needs to tell Liam something, it seems likely that Monday's cliffhanger will feature her looking anxious and upset. That should set up Steffy's confession about Liam's apparent tumor and the fact that he may not have long left to live. This is the last thing Steffy ever wanted to tell Liam, but she'll feel like she's the best person to break the news. Don't miss Liam's upcoming response because, according to the bold and the beautiful, he will ultimately face some dire predictions. Steffy's heartbreak, Liam's denial, Eric's magical fashion show. The bold and the beautiful suggest that Steffy Forrester Finnegan will react to Liam Spencer's diagnosis, however, he's in denial. Meanwhile, the team at Forrester Creations is getting ready for a spectacular fashion show. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the next episode of the CBS soap opera. John Finnegan's Bombshell. In the next episode, fans can expect Steffy to continue reacting to Finn's text message. As Liam was dancing with Kelly Spencer, Finn let Steffy know the patient had left the hospital against medical advice. Then, Finn alerted Steffy that it was urgent as Liam has an inoperable brain tumor. Find out what transpired on the most recent episode of B&B Steffy Forrester Finnegan's Heartbreak. A preview clip for next week shows Finn sitting on the couch at home with Steffy. The executive is sobbing as she processes the impending death of her daughter's father. He will make an effort to reassure his wife. However, Steffy then drops her own bombshell on the good doctor. Steffy informs Finn that she has to be the one to tell Liam that he's dying. Finn seems stunned, but under the circumstances, he might be okay with it. After all, half the staff violates HIPAA on a daily basis. Remember, it's a soap opera, not real life, so real-world rules don't apply. Liam Spencer's steel determination. According to the spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Liam will learn that he has a fatal diagnosis. It seems that Liam doesn't want to accept that he's on borrowed time. In a preview, Liam states that he rejects his death sentence. Liam's denial might worry Steffy. She might even push and plead with Liam to stay in the hospital. However, that is the last place anyone wants to be in their final hours. It wouldn't be too far-fetched for Steffy to invite Liam to stay with her until he dies. If he refused, What kind of man would Finn be? Read more. The bold and the beautiful spoilers, Liam's secret and renewed outlook create opportunities. Fans will also see Forrester Creations get ready for a big fashion show. In a preview clip, Eric gushes to Ridge Forrester and Cricket Blair about mystery and magic. There are also going to be some guest stars and special appearances, including by Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag. In a heartbreaking and emotionally loaded turn of events on The Bold and the Beautiful, the episode centered around a devastating medical revelation, a father's unwavering determination, and the pure innocence of a child's wish. The story unraveled in layers, starting at the hospital where Liam Spencer, fueled by a fierce devotion to his daughter Kelly, defied every logical plea from his doctors and made the reckless but heartfelt decision to leave against medical advice. While Dr. Grace Buckingham and Dr. Bridget Forrester tried desperately to restrain him, citing the urgency of further scans and the fragile state of his health following recent treatments, Liam's mind was consumed with a singular focus, getting to the dad-daughter dance he had promised Kelly he wouldn't miss. As Liam, who was clearly weak and disoriented when he disconnected from his monitoring equipment, insisted on signing the required waiver and embarking on what would soon be revealed to be a mission of love that was nearly fatal, the hospital room was filled with tension. Meanwhile, back at the Cliff House, Steffy Forrester tried to manage expectations with Kelly, gently explaining that her daddy might not be able to attend the dance after all. The living room, which had been filled with excitement and sparkling dresses, dimmed emotionally as Kelly's innocent heart began to wrestle with confusion and disappointment. She tried to remain hopeful, peering out the window as if willing her father to appear. Steffy herself, full of internal conflict, balanced between protecting her daughter's emotions and hoping for a miracle that could make this moment right. The miracle, for a moment, seemed to arrive. Liam made a heart-stopping entrance when he showed up at the door. He was dressed for the occasion, wearing a beanie to hide his surgical scars, and his eyes were filled with fatigue. Kelly's joy lit up the room as she ran into his arms, and Liam, through labored breath and forced cheer, offered her a sparkling tiara he said he picked up as a gift. Though they had missed the official event, Liam insisted they could still have their dance, just the two of them. Steffy watched as her daughter's smile returned, and she turned on the disco lights to transform their living room into a whimsical dance floor, trying to freeze time in this picture-perfect moment that felt suspended between joy and dread. But under the glitter and the music, there was something hauntingly fragile about Liam's movements. Each step seemed to cost him, his body betraying him as he stumbled and swayed with exhaustion masked as clumsiness. It was during this tender father-daughter dance that John Finn Finnegan, having just learned the gravity of Liam's condition, tried reaching out. Liam was so caught up in the moment that he didn't pay attention to Finn's text messages and missed calls that were now screaming for his attention. Steffy's composure was shattered by Finn's shocking revelation, which in a cruel twist of fate came in the form of a text message rather than a conversation. As she looked at her phone, her heart broke into pieces. Finn had confirmed that Liam had an inoperable and terminal mass in his brain. The words were stark and final, and Steffy's face betrayed the overwhelming pain as she glanced at Liam, who, in that very moment, was twirling Kelly and whispering promises of always being there for her. The weight of that contradiction, his words against the harsh medical truth, brought tears to Steffy's eyes. Nearby, Ridge Forrester and Taylor Hayes, completely unaware of the storm about to hit, were reminiscing fondly at the Forrester mansion, delighting in photos of Kelly and discussing the joys of parenting. Ridge remembered his own dances with Steffy, while Taylor spoke of how proud she was of the way Steffy and Liam co-parented so beautifully. It was a serene, almost joyful scene that only deepened the tragic undertone of what was unfolding elsewhere. Even though he tried to appear strong for Kelly back at the Cliff House, Liam's condition got worse. The dance nearly ended in collapse instead of laughter, and there were more near falls. Steffy hovered anxiously, hiding her panic as she tried to keep Kelly's bubble of happiness intact just a bit longer. It appeared as though Liam was aware that this might be the last time he could spend such a special moment with his daughter when he finally sat down, exhausted but smiling. Steffy and Finn sat down later that evening as Kelly slept, cradled in the innocence of dreams. The emotional toll was immense as she processed what the medical scans meant. Liam was dying, and there was no cure, no treatment that could reverse the tide. Finn tried to comfort her, but Steffy had made up her mind. She would be the one to tell Liam. She couldn't let him hear this news from anyone else. Their history, their bond, the life they once shared, it all made her the only person who could carry this unbearable truth to him with the gentleness and empathy he deserved. Even Finn seemed stunned by Steffy's resolve, but he respected her choice. It was a deeply human moment, full of love, sorrow, and the desire to protect Liam from the impersonal coldness that often accompanies terminal diagnoses. During this time, Liam remained in a state of mild denial, having no idea of the storm that was brewing all around him. He planned to take Kelly out for pizza or ice cream the next day, hoping to stretch the magic of the evening just a little longer. He wasn't ready to confront the growing cracks in his reality. Steffy, however, knew time was slipping away like sand through her fingers. She would find the right moment, and when she did, she'd look him in the eyes and break his heart because it was the only way to be honest, and the only way to ensure he could make the most of whatever time he had left. This impending confession loomed like a shadow over the next few scenes. The B&B writers set up a poignant cliffhanger, hinting that the next episode would begin with Steffy pulling Liam aside, her eyes glassy and voice trembling as she utters, "There's something you need to know." This is the moment that will demolish Liam's fantasy and force him to confront his journey's end. However, it remains to be seen how he will handle that information. In a parallel storyline, Forrester Creations buzzed with life as the fashion house prepared for a grand upcoming show. Eric Forrester, radiant with excitement, teased a magical new collection with whispers of mystery and glamour. The dichotomy between the glitzy anticipation at the fashion house and the personal tragedy playing out at the Cliff House served to heighten the emotional stakes. Even the anticipated appearances of Heidi Montag and Spencer Pratt as special guests added a surreal, showbiz gleam, making Liam's quiet tragedy seem more real and heartbreaking. This is the classic strength of the bold and the beautiful, balancing high fashion and fantasy with deeply personal, relatable stories of love, loss, and loyalty. Steffy's impending confession will no doubt alter the course of the narrative. Will Liam accept his fate? Will he spend his remaining time creating lasting memories with Kelly? And as Steffy invites her ex to spend his final days in her home surrounded by love, how will this affect their marriage? Fans of B&B will eagerly await answers to these questions. The stage is set for some of the soap's most emotional storytelling yet, as the Cliff House becomes both a sanctuary and a goodbye, and Liam, ever the romantic idealist, continues dancing through the twilight of his life with one last wish in his heart, to never let his little girl see him fall. The Bold and the Beautiful, Friday's episode delivered a masterclass in heartbreak and family devotion as John Finnegan finally revealed the devastating truth about Liam Spencer's inoperable and terminal condition to Steffy Forrester, shattering her world in the most unexpected and painful way. The episode oscillated between the sterile walls of the hospital and the glowing ambience of the Cliff House, where little Kelly Spencer waited in her sparkly dress for a dad-daughter dance that fate had other plans for. Liam, ever the devoted father and ever the stubborn heart, defied medical orders and rational logic by unhooking himself from the monitors, ignoring the gravity of his situation, and marching, bandaged and weak, toward what could very well be his final memory with the daughter he cherishes more than life itself. It was a moment of fierce paternal love colliding with cruel reality, a desperate man racing against the clock not just to keep a promise, but to create a memory that his little girl might cling to when he no longer can be by her side. Bridget Forrester and Dr. Grace Buckingham were left stunned and helpless as they informed Finn that Liam had checked himself out of the hospital despite their protests, a reckless and heartbreaking choice that left them no choice but to reveal the deeper horror. Liam's latest scans confirmed an inoperable mass in his brain. Terminal. Final. And suddenly, the soap opera that often dances in melodrama dipped into the somber truth of human fragility. Finn was forced into the cruel position of bearer of devastating news, and his face reflected the toll as he realized what this diagnosis would mean not only for Liam, but for Steffy, Kelly, and the complicated web of family that had already endured so much chaos. At the Cliff House, the ambience was festive but hollow. Steffy had gently tried to let Kelly down easy, explaining that her dad might not make it to the dance, all while internally grappling with the weight of her own concern. Kelly, innocent and sparkly-eyed, dressed like a little princess and full of hope, kept peeking out the window, her face a portrait of anticipation. And then, like a miracle draped in denial, Liam appeared at the door. His appearance was disheveled, his head wrapped in a bandage beneath a cap, but his eyes burned with determination and love. Kelly's joy was immediate, pure, and unfiltered. She didn't question much when Liam made up a story about picking up a gift, offering her a sparkly tiara that shimmered with the weight of a father's desperate attempt to make magic. The dance, of course, was already over, but in the confines of the Cliff House living room, with the glow of love illuminating the shadows of tragedy, Liam asked Kelly to dance with him anyway. As Steffy dimmed the lights and turned on the disco ball, the house was transformed into a glittering ballroom. Liam gently twirled his daughter.